Hey now, it's the God Anointed Game Appointed Gentleman. Freeze is it once again, hitting y'all with a real heavy dose of game, man. This dose of game that I'm blessing y'all with, right, has been very beneficial to myself and can also be very beneficial to many of you. And if you're not familiar with it, man, it's what I call a personal constitution. People also refer to it as a personal mission statement. But basically what it is an outline of your principles, your values, things that you stand for, anything that's important to you that helps you stay focused and stay on point and operate at the most effective level that you possibly can, man. Basically also to keep you out of a lot of sucker shit that goes on, man, because it's a lot of sucker activities going on in the world right now, man, especially with the advent of social media. You know, it puts all the sucker shit right there in your face, and for some odd reason, man, it's real hard for a lot of people to resist these sucker activities, man. You know, so like I say, this personal constitution, man, it'll really help you to stay on point and stay sucker free. And what I'm gonna do is bless y'all with Freeze's personal constitution to give you an example of what it is if you're not familiar with it already, and give you an idea, get your creative juices flowing if you so choose to draft one for yourself. So here it is right here, you dig?
So here's Freeze's constitution. As you can see, I have it broken down into 3 categories: I am, I will, and I will be. Now, I am basically breaks down who and what I consider myself to be, which is, in all things, a gentleman, displaying class, honesty, maturity, and dignity. Very important. A father who displays love in my every interaction with my children. An available and loving son, uncle, brother, cousin, and nephew. A loyal, trustworthy, and loving friend. A loyal and dedicated king to the life, which those of you who know me should know what that means. Committed to being my family's greatest asset, you dig? An artist of substance and quality, bringing the heat to y'all whenever I deliver any artistry. A wise businessman, an avid student, a listener, and a believer in God through Jesus Christ. Amen. I will basically breaks down how I will conduct myself and maneuver through life, which is, for as long as I live, exercise my mind, body, and spirit on a daily basis so that I look, feel, think, discern, communicate, and express myself at my absolute best. Powerful. So powerful. Also, avoid meaningless and negative conversation and invite and encourage meaningful and healthy conversation. Very important to always be mindful of what sort of conversations you engage in or even surround yourself with, and how to avoid that and invite and encourage meaningful and healthy conversation. Avoid the negative conversations, that is. Say no to senseless activities by saying yes to constructive and progressive activities. Crucial. Pursue righteous desires uninhibitedly. Acquire and consume wisely. Work smarter and play harder. Appreciate people above things and all things. Very important. Always got to appreciate people and don't put things above them. Maintain a balance between patience and striking while the iron is hot. Good point of reference that I like to give. The best example I can think of is, you know, fellas especially can relate to this. When you might be out with your boys, y'all might be at a club, you might be at a store in the mall or anywhere, and you see this attractive young lady. Now, at first glance, she might appear to be by herself, and you might want to go immediately and holler at her. But if you don't have any patience, you might not see and realize that she has a boyfriend in the midst somewhere. But if you do have a little patience, you'll be able to figure that out, and then from there you can strike while the iron's hot, you dig? So it's good to have a balance between the two. Lead responsibly, manage effectively. What I mean by that is, you know, leading is a creative thing. So lead with your creative mind, your imagination. management is a logical thing. So manage with your logical side of your mind, you dig? Delegate with trust, very important. Seek mutual benefit in interdependent situations. Always got to look out for your people, especially if they're holding you down. Stay ahead of my responsibilities and pay past due debts. Not respond autobiographically and diagnose before I prescribe. Basically meaning, before you give somebody a solution, figure out what the problem is. And not respond autobiographically basically means, what applies to you doesn't apply to everybody else. So your response to your personal self might not be a fitting response for the next person. Also, not compromise my integrity under no circumstances. Now, I will be basically breaks down how I will be and conduct myself throughout life. A positive influence, encouraging the passions, dreams, and talents of others. A source of leadership to my family. As a man, that's very important. A constant, conscious, focused, serious worker. For sure, definitely. Clean, organized, and structured. Yes, indeed. The master of my assets, tools, and money, having them serve me and not vice versa. Very important. Now, ask yourself, are there any assets that you find yourself serving? Are there any tools that you find yourself serving? And is your money, do you find yourself serving your money more than it serves you? Because all these things are meant to serve you. You aren't meant to serve these things, but you got certain people that break their neck to serve a car or a house or a job more than it's serving them. And it's never supposed to be like that. A selfless, sure, responsible man. You dig. Committed to excellence and success. You dig. And of course, better today than I was yesterday.
So there you have it, man. Freeze's personal constitution. As you can see on there, it basically outlines my values, my principles, what's important to me, who I am, what I will do, who and what I will be, so on and so forth, man. And it really keeps me on point, man, because some of y'all might see me in a certain light, and while I'm flattered by that and I appreciate that, the bottom line is, man, I'm just a human being just like anybody else, man, which means I'm subject to make mistakes. And every so often I do make certain mistakes and get outside of my character. And whenever this takes place, man, I'm always reminded to go back to my personal mission statement, man, and remind myself of what's important to me and remind myself of how I need to be moving, the example that I need to be setting, and so on. So, like I say, man, hopefully this can be a blessing to those of y'all that haven't implemented it into your life and can see it being beneficial to you. Man, I really hope it helps somebody and touches somebody out there, man, and moves somebody out there to draft one for yourself and put it in your life, man. You can even draft one for your family. Some people have family constitutions or mission statements, just like businesses, teams, so on and so forth. You dig? So hopefully it's been a blessing to you. Like I said, man, take that dose of game, do with it what you will, and I'll catch y'all later on, man. Freeze is it. Best of blessings to y'all. You dig?